This is Nicky G and welcome to Better Commander. Magic the Gathering players, as we all know, are like cardboard hoarding Goldilocks. We like to get everything just right. And today we're doing a short video on layering effects inspired by Phyrexia All Will Be One. We're going to delve right into it, but first call out the name of your special attack, right? And perform it with gusto on the like and subscribe buttons. And since I'm awake at 5 a.m. researching rules, I'm going to need some coffee, so feel free to buy me one at the link in the description. I appreciate you all, especially Sam, one of my recent supporters. Alright, today we're going to be dealing with replacement effects defined in Rule 614.1. Some continuous effects are replacement effects, like prevention effects, see Rule 615. Replacement effects apply continuously as events happen. They aren't locked in ahead of time. Such effects watch for a particular event that would happen and completely or partially replace that event with a different event. They act like shields around whatever they're affecting. Okay. Alright, so we're going to delve into an example. We're going to have two replacement effects on the battlefield. We have Soulfim, which reads, if a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead. And we got our favorite dwarf out there. We got Torbrand on the battlefield, which reads, if a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. So then we cast a lightning strike, not a lightning bolt because we're swagging out with Frank Frazetta art right now. So we decide to deal 3 damage to our opponent's Mishra, lost to Phyrexia. Mishra has 9 toughness, and that's surprisingly relevant. So we got the classic conundrum, 2 replacement effects on the battlefield. Either the Torbrand effect is applied first, taking the damage to 5, then Soulfim's effect is applied, doubling it to 10. Or Soulfim's effect doubles it to 6, then Torbrand's effect adds 2, making it 8. So what order do the replacement effects layer themselves? Who gets to pick? Well, according to Rule 616.1, the controller of Mishra. Alright, let's read it. 616.1. If 2 or more replacement and or prevention effects are attempting to modify the way an event affects an object or player, the affected object's controller, or its owner if it has no controller, or the affected player chooses one to apply, following the steps listed below. If 2 or more players have to make these choices at the same time, choices are made in AppNap order. So AppNap we're not going to cover today, but it's basically active player, not active player. See Rule 101.4. This is a huge section of the rules, but in this case there are 2 effects that could apply. So the affected object's controller chooses the order and has to choose until no more effects are left to apply as detailed in 616.1F. Once the chosen effect has been applied, this process is repeated, taking into account only replacement or prevention effects that would now be applicable until there are no more left to apply. Though this seems super complicated, this interaction is fairly simple. The complete rules on this interaction could confuse a Nobel Prize winning physicist. This is the most complicated game on the planet, let's just say that right now. This seems counterintuitive. Mishra's controller is the controller of the affected object. Even reading the rule, it could be misconstrued to mean the affected object is the lightning strike, but that has been clarified with multiple rulings. The lightning strike is creating the event that is being modified by the replacement effects. On the ruling from Torbrand himself, if another effect modifies how much damage your red source would deal, including preventing some of it, the player being dealt damage or the controller of the permanent being dealt damage chooses an order in which to apply those effects. If all of the damage is being prevented, Torbrand's effect no longer applies. Now keep in mind through all this, I'm not a judge, I'm just a guy trying to get this right, and I've misread things before, though I do my best to be correct. And do you know why? Because it's going to come up in some game somewhere and we want to do the right thing. We don't want to target the Mishra and then say, well, I'm going to do 10 damage, because you are going to know otherwise because you just watched this video. You're going to do the right thing, you're not going to be a silly goose. So back to our example, Mishra's controller chooses Soulfim's effect to modify the damage event first, so it's doubled to 6, then Torbrand's effect applies, adding 2, taking the damage to 8. So guess what? If we know all this, we're not going to cast the lightning strike. We're going to find some other way to take care of this guy. You know, if we do it the wrong way, Mishra lives, I'm sad, everybody's sad, evil triumphs over good, but that's the way it works. I mean, life is like that, really. Sometimes you want something to be a certain way, it should be rightfully that way, but it's not. The caster of the lightning strike should be able to choose in a sane world, but this is not a sane world sometimes. It's a complicated game. Life is unfair, buddy. The sooner you learn that, the sooner we're going to get on with this game and maybe win some. So this is just a little PSA. Listen, I'll tell you the same thing that I tell people who insist that the earth is flat. You know, you can do your own research, buddy. Go ahead. I think you'll come to the same conclusion and be better able to play the game and know the rules. That's the goal. And that's Better Commander, dude. It's Nicky G from Better Commander signing off.